Education. Education means, the literal meaning of the word education means to take out or to draw out. So, it's not something you feed inside the brain, it's not like a memory system. It's not like that. So, education is something you take out from that person. So, whatever is inside that person, whatever is the highest potential within that person, you're supposed to, I mean, it's supposed to come out. So that is the whole point of education. So it's not just by hearting or repeating or just remembering stuff. So what do we do as parents? What do we do? Are we supposed to teach them? Are we supposed to make them familiarized with everything? Or are we supposed to take them to all the possible classes, whatever, whatever is available for us? No, it's the child's job to draw it out, and it's not us. So whatever is the highest potential that is there within the child, it's the child's job to take it out. It's not our job at all. What we do is we facilitate, we just help them in the process. It's not for us to decide what the child should know or what the child should learn. We're supposed to help them with availing everything for them, making it available, making everything available for them, whatever is possible for us, given our situations and our, um, a lot of, there are so many things, so many factors, family and finance and whatever, all the possibility in your city. And why I'm talking about this at first is that because right brain education, as far as anybody's, whoever comes to know about right brain education through Instagram or through social media or YouTube, they think it is just showing the cards, memorizing the cards, and then the child is, boom, a genius. So that is not the whole point of right brain education at all. Right brain education is actually not right brain education at all. Right brain education is whole brain education. It's actually a misnomer. It's not. It does not cater only to the right brain. It caters to the entire brain. Why we call it right brain education is because most of the things what we do in right brain education will facilitate, will increase, or will retain the genius capacity of the right brain. And when we strengthen the right brain, along with the right brain, left brain is also, is also stimulated, and left brain is also strengthened. So right and left, both are strengthened. And the whole point of this whole brain education is for the child to reach the highest potential. And we facilitate as parents or as teachers or as aunts or uncles, and we're just giving them, like a buffet. We just give them everything, and then it's for the child to choose what the child's going to do with the information or with the ability which they will gain through right brain education. So, what is right brain education? Right brain education is a method where we use unique techniques to stimulate or to keep. 1 second. So what is right brain education? Right brain education is a method where we use unique techniques to stimulate or to keep the right brain function at its highest potential lifelong. So we are trying to keep the right brain functioning at its highest level throughout the life. So we're all right-brained at birth. So this I actually discussed in my recent reel. So what it means is that when a child is born, the child has got a very dominant right brain. So that means all children are geniuses. That means, when they're born, within a very quick span of like few years or few months, the child in within 1 year the child starts to crawl and then walk and then run, and then they learn languages and they understand languages. If we are multilingual, most of Indian households are multilingual, so they can understand and even speak 2 3 languages, and that is all done effortlessly. How it happens is that Maria Montessori, she calls it the absorbent mind. It's like a sponge. The brain is like a sponge. If you spill some water and put a sponge on top of the water, what happens? The sponge just absorbs water in 360 degrees. It doesn't absorb in one direction throughout, I mean all around the sponge is going to absorb, and that is how children's brains are also. So that is how absorbent their brains are. Like, it's not even, they don't even try to do that. It just happens automatically. So, and that is because of the right brain. The absorbent mind, what she actually talks about is the right brain. Of course, she doesn't say it is left brain, right brain, all these differences are not there. But then, if you kind of uh, learn Montessori, I mean, learn Montessori methods as well, and also right brain education, you see that there are so many similarities. What she has explained in what she has explained and what they talk about in right brain as the right brain, I mean, in right brain education as the right brain abilities and the qualities. So, yeah, in manifestation circles, we call it as the subconscious mind. We call it, where there are two minds, subconscious mind and conscious mind. So, right brain is the subconscious mind. Again, because the abilities of the subconscious mind or the characters of the subconscious mind are in par with right brain, what they call it as right brain education. Of course, there are no, I mean, it's not fixed. It's not that creativity is only fixed for right brain and not for the left brain. It's not that math is only for the left brain and not for the right brain. It's all, interrelated. Certain qualities of certain, when it comes to math. So, computer like calculation, like that is mental math, before you, I mean, once you stop the question, the answer comes out. So that is right brain calculation. Whereas left brain calculation requires time, that is left brain math. So right brain math, left brain math, both are like interrelated. There are so many connections like that. So when the child is born, all these right brain qualities, of course, an infant is not going to be using right brain math. So what is going to happen? So because right brain has unique abilities, which will be lost or reduced by the age of 3 by a process called synaptic pruning. So this is why we should do right brain education. So all these abilities, these super genius abilities, which we'll see in detail later. So all these right brain abilities, they are cut off by something called as synaptic pruning. So this is an actual process which happens in the brain. So your skull, your head, your skull is only this big. It cannot keep on growing if the brain is supposed to grow. The skull it cannot keep on increasing. It's a very fixed space. So it can hold only this much of space. That's actually a law, and it's called Munro-Kelly doctrine. We talk about that in neurology. So what happens is that whatever is functioning well needs space. So whatever is not functioning, the brain tries to cut off the neurons which are connected to that space. So if you're not using these right brain abilities, especially by the age of 3 years, all these unutilized right brain, synapses or neurons or connections or neuronal connections are cut off. And that is called as pruning. Pruning is like in gardening, we prune the leaves, right? So that they grow. So that is what happens in the brain also. So that happens at 3 years. And after 3 years, what happens is that left brain becomes dominant. So why left brain becomes dominant is because, left brain is the logical brain. So at 3 years only, the child will know the logic and all. If you've seen your child until 3 years, uh, it's kind of very easy to handle children. So around 18 months and above 3 years, they have their own say now. They can think logically. And all that is because of left brain. So because left brain needs a space to grow, right? And it is required, and logic is also very important. So since there is, I mean, since there is, I mean, since the brain needs more space for left brain to develop, the right brain connections are cut off. So a single neuron, and so this is like removing weeds. So if we are gardening, we remove the weeds, right? So that there is more place for, and more the nutrients will be used by the actual plants and not the weeds. So we remove the weeds, and same process happens in the brain as well. A single neuron has various connection. In the first year of life, the number of synapses increase by tenfold. So the brain connections are happening at a lightning fast speed, especially in infancy, within the first year. So there are a lot of connections happening every second. There are multiple thousands and hundreds of connections are happening in the brain. So that is why infancy is the best time to do right brain education. Actually, right brain education starts prenatally in the womb itself. There is something called as prenatal right brain education. I don't teach that, but then it's kind of very simple. It's simple only. All these Garbha Sanskar practices will come. You can check that up. I mean, check that on internet, and yeah, so that is actually right brain education in the womb. That is prenatal right brain education. So after birth, since these connections are happening at a lightning fast speed, the best time to start is during the infancy. But then until 3 years, you can still do. That's a very good time. And above 3 years of age, you can still do. They say, some say 6 years, up to 6 years, some say up to 7 years, some say up to 8 years. It totally depends on the child's brain. So, if the logic develops, if the left brain develops much earlier, some children are very, very logical, and that is because they join school and they teach all these they teach schools are fully left brain oriented, logic oriented. They say, they teach phonics. So mat means, if the word is mat means, they should know that M makes the sound of and then A means a, and then T means t. So they are connecting the logic with reading. So that comes with everything. They teach logic in everything, right? So since there is lot of the children are using lot of logic, the left brain will start functioning more. And what happens is that right brain, all these right brain abilities will not be developed that much, and they will also lose these abilities. So that is why about 4 years, if you start right brain education, it is a little bit challenging because the connections are less, right? So, but then you can still you can do. Right brain is going to be active for all of us, until we die. The right brain is going to be functioning. But how much of right brain and how much of these special abilities of right brain are going to function depends on what you do in these first few years, first 6 years. So you can still do right brain education, still start doing right brain education, I would say, until 8 years. So the point is that after 8 years, the evidence is a little bit less, but it is not like that. Like I said, it depends on the child's brain. If those right brain connections are still intact, then the child's ability to respond to the program will be much more nice. And 8 years, 9 years, and all, there's a lot of logic. So you know the child should be more open towards learning these methods. There are a lot of things there, but then still you can do right brain education. I would say right brain education, I mean, personally, I would say you can do it at any age, because what I felt is that personally, after starting right brain education for my child, because of all this, because I kept on doing these like every day, that I did so many sessions when she was small and all that. Because of all that, my my right brain abilities have also developed. That's what I see in myself. My math has developed, and my memory has developed a lot, just by training her. And that is because of certain things which we'll, there's a lot of transfer happening between the learners, which we'll be talking later. So there is a lot of vibrational transfer. There is no science backing all this. So, I've read all these and then I did these blindly because obviously there is no harm in doing right brain education as far as I knew. So, um, I mean, I'm a doctor. So for me, I did my MD in general medicine. That is, I'm a consultant physician. So our main subject is neurology. So for me to believe in right brain education, that was very, very challenging because we study obstetrics and gynecology in our MBBS. We know how the child's brain develops in pediatrics. We've learned all that. So for me to understand that, this is what happens in right brain, how synaptic cloning happens, and children develops all these superhuman abilities, all these like for me to, I mean, as a medical person, for me to understand all these, for me to even accept all these, it is really challenging. But what I saw when I learned all these at first was that there was literally no side effect in doing this, and I was only going to be spending like some 5-10 minutes with my child during doing right brain education in a day. So 5-10 minutes did not I mean, it didn't feel like any harm, right? So I thought I might as well try it because there are so many testimonials and everything, and I knew people who did all these before me. So, I started 8 years back. I mean, 8 years back, nobody was talking about right brain education on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere. But then we had these small little communities where, after extensive searching, I found some moms, and most of them were Tamil also. So we had a group, and then people there, all these people, they did before me, and they had much older children than my child. So, it was little bit convincing, but not everybody had success because they were also trying. It was also new for them. And so what happened was I started seeing these started seeing the benefits, how would I say, the effects of right brain education even as an infant. It was little bit shocking for me and for my parents as well. They're also doctors, and so my mom and all, she'll be like, what is this, why are you even talking about addition or multiplication with an infant. That is how the comments were in my home, and obviously that will be the comments which you will be hearing if you're going to be teaching all these things. But then it takes a lot of madness to craziness to even combat with all those words and beliefs. But when they started to see what I was seeing, then they started appreciating me. So the result, what you're going to see, if you're starting in infancy or before 3 years, yeah, definitely before 3 years, you'll be able to see a lot. So if after 3 years you're starting, then it will be what should I say? You won't see very abrupt results as you see before 3 years of age, but still the results will be seen with persistent practice. For some children, it happens early, for some children, it happens later. But then the point is not about the results. So I talk about results because children, I mean, they want to know. I mean, parents want to know what is going to be the benefit. I don't see any benefit in right brain education. That's what usually they say. But then the results are for a lifetime. It's a lifetime uh, worth of results. There's going to be a lot of things which you're going to be seeing when you compare your children with their peers when they go to school. Not only you, even their class teachers, they will tell, for you, your child is the brightest of all. Yes. So you won't be able, you won't, it won't be something very, it will be whatever your child does, it's going to be normal for you. But then when the school teacher, when many other teachers, when they tell, no, the child is good at this, the child is good at this and that, and then you will understand, oh, okay, this is because of right brain education, because the child will be very unique and the child will be very bright in school, and everything will be easier for the child. Learning anything needs memory. Any type of skill or subject, or you want to excel at anything, the basic thing is memory. And right brain education is going to give your child photographic memory. Photographic memory means like if you take a picture, it's just, it's stored there in the photograph. And that's how the brain is going to function. Whatever child sees, the child's going to remember. Because what? Because why? Because of the absorbent mind. So the absorbent mind, according to Maria Montessori and many other teachers, it is up to 6 years of age. So after that, it's not that absorbent. So that is because, again, right brain, it loses its dominance and left brain becomes dominant. But then what we do in right brain education is we are going to maintain that absorbent mind lifelong. So it's like giving an insurance for the life, for their entire life. Of course, right brain education, there is a lot of, it requires a lot of, obviously you need to spend a lot of money because you have to get printer, and then you need to print out the flashcards, obviously, because physical flashcards have the maximum benefit. You cannot be showing everything digitally. So all these, requires, there's a lot of money to be spent. And of course, I would say, like, if you spend that money now, it's going to be helpful. You don't have to spend lakhs and lakhs in the future for your coaching or whatever. If you just give the gift of right brain education when the children are young, then that brain is going to take care of everything, all kinds of learning until they are like, 90s, or even after 100 years of age. And another thing, technically speaking, it makes lots of connections. When you show the flashcards, there are a lot of connections happening between the right brain and left brain. The connections are going to be increasing every time you show the flashcards, because the child will be, if 1-year-old sees apple, the child's going to be seeing, he's going to be connecting probably the taste of apple with the picture of apple. And then when he sees the apple fruit, actually, then again, the child is going to be remembering the picture and taste and the feel of the apple. And at 2 years of age, when they show flashcards regarding some apple, then all those connections will get triggered again. And there's going to be even multiple number of connections. And if thousands and thousands and thousands of connections are happening. So what is happening is that the density of the connections are going to be increased. Where in center, when there is right brain and left brain, there is something in the middle. That is where all those connections are happening. That is where the neurons go from left to right and right to left. So in when they when they biopsy it, or when they did a research on the brain of Einstein, what they found that was unique was those connections, that is called as corpus callosum. So that part will only show how many connections are there. If it is thin, means there are fewer connections, that is fewer neurons are there. If it is thick, means then there are a lot of neurons are there. That is why that connecting part is very thick. So that connecting part was very thick. So that is what is expected in right brain education as well. So because he had a lot of connection between his right and left brain, that is why he was the greatest genius of all time. So that is how they concluded. And this is what right brain education does theoretically. Yes. So yeah, 90% of the brain develops before 3 years of age. So that is like 90% of your brain is already formed before 3 years of age. After 3 years of age, only 10 more percent will grow. So that is why starting right brain education before 3 years of age is very important. But again, it depends on the child. If you start before 3 years of age, it's the best. But then that doesn't mean you don't do it later. And then the brain works on the principle called use it or lose it. So if you don't use the right brain abilities, you're going to lose the right brain abilities. And better the number of connections, better will be the brain. Obviously, if there are a lot of connections, obviously the brain will function faster. And that is why everything will be fast. Learning anything is easier, faster, Memorizing is faster, or learning any new skill is also faster. Doing math, they'll do it faster. Everything and thinking out of the box, you know, um, just coming to a solution for a problem, it will be faster. Processing everything will be faster and faster because of the number of connections happening between right and left brain. So, what are the abilities of the right and left brain? Right brain is emotional brain, and it is responsible for intuition. Left brain is logical. Right brain has got creativity, art, and left brain dwells on facts. Right brain has imagination, visualization, and left brain is realistic. Right brain has photographic memory, and left brain is an analytical brain, algorithmic functioning. Like this comes after this, and this comes after that, like that. And right brain, quantity math. The one of the right brain abilities is quantity math. Quantity math means looking at, if you look at your shopping cart and ask your child how many apples are there, and the child, just like that, within a second, without counting, the child says 10, and there are only 10 apples there. That is right brain math. It didn't count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that counting, that is logical math. That is left brain math. And quantum speed reading, there is something called as quantum speed reading. That is not just speed reading what we know. Quantum speed reading means, if you give a book to the child can just read the book just by, flipping like this. So that's like there are different, and I don't teach quantum speed reading. There are separate centers for that, like Hegru and all, they do quantum speed reading. So that kind of speed reading is right brain ability. It's very beautiful. I mean, it is very shocking or astonishing to watch. You give a book and then they just do like flip like this. They don't even open the book. They just flip like this and then they read. That is the highest level of that is there are a lot of levels in quantum speed reading, and just flipping the book and reading is just, that's level one for them. Phonetic reading, like I said, at. So they use the logic, they use the phonic sounds. They actually, what they're doing in phonetic reading is they are memorizing the sound and they're trying to repeat it. So that is phonetic reading is actually works on memory, left brain memory. Whereas right brain reading, how right brain reading happens is that, when you show the child mat, the word mat, you're showing mat. And then later, after a week, you show something like cat. So the child will know. So if the word M, if the letter M comes, the child doesn't know what is, we don't teach alphabets. The child does not know which is M, which is A, which is T, all that patiently the child doesn't know. The child knows only the pronunciation of that word, the whole word. So it's called a whole word approach. So if the shape M is there, then the child will know. So that sound is And if you put the shape C, then that sound is cat, ka. So the child will intuitively understand. That is, you're not teaching the phonics at all. So then if you show the word you show the word can and ask the child to read, the child will take the CA from the cat and then read can. So that's how reading happens in right brain education. That is called as whole word approach. In left brain, we call it as phonetic approach. And the next level for after they start reading like this, then they'll go for quantum speed reading. But that is not actually if it is available in your place, fine, you can do. But then with this type of right brain reading, which I just explained itself, that itself will happen very fast. So that is why children will start reading early in right brain education when they do right brain education. So around 2.5 years, they start reading, and they read. It will be very astonishing to watch because you've not taught phonetics, you've not taught alphabets, but the child can just read. And they can read any word. How it happens? It's all intuitive. It's all intuitive. There is no logical explanation which will explain how it happens. It is, when I read all those things, I knew, like, okay, fine. This is how children will read after they show, I mean, after we show flashcards. That was the idea. And intuitively they read. Fine. Yeah, I understood all that. But then I didn't understand what, I mean, I understood what they've written, that's all. But I didn't understand what exactly intuitively reading means. So when I saw it in my child, only then I understood, okay, this is how the learning is happening, reading is happening. It is not possible for you to show all the words in English vocabulary, right? So when people say they memorize and that's how they read, that is totally against the point of right brain education. We are not showing all the words. We are not showing all the word that is in English language. Is it even possible to do that? So it's madness if somebody thinks like that. And why would, as parents, we would do that thing, mean that for a toddler, like 1 year or 2 year old? It is absolutely, I don't know what to call that. It is just it's atrocious to even think that parents would do that. So it's not that. And right brain caters to music, and left brain, it's like science. Like science. Science means logical, physics, chemistry, physicist and all. They will not, they will not accept all this. They will not accept what is happening in spirituality, like that. Right brain will understand spirituality, and left brain will understand science better. So these are all the right brain and left brain abilities. There is so much which you'll be learning during the courses as well. And then what are the benefits of RBE? Learning multiple languages, early reading, computer-like calculation ability, excellence at math, speed math, super fast speed reading, photographic memory, extrasensory perception or intuition, increased brain capacity, encyclopedic knowledge. Encyclopedic knowledge because you show them a lot of flashcards. So if you show them 2000 flashcards, definitely they can easily remember at least 100 or 200. So that's only going to be a benefit for the child. We don't expect them to memorize or learn all the cards which we show them. That is exactly against the right brain education, what we're trying to do here. Musical excellence. Music and right brain definitely, if you develop one ability of the right brain, of all these abilities, if you concentrate on one ability, all these abilities will flourish. And if you concentrate on music, all these ability will flourish, provided you give some input as well. So music is very important for right brain. And increase creativity, learn anything easy, seeing learning as fun. And it is fun because it's easier for them to do. Their memory is great, so it's not difficult at all for them. So that is why learning is fun. Learning anything is fun. And emotionally intelligent. What Glendoman says is that when children's brains are full of beautiful stuff, like all the information which we give during right brain education, when their brain is already full of amazing stuff, when the child wants information. Children want information when they are growing up. They want to learn more. They want to do something. They want to keep on doing something, because their brain is asking them to learn, 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 learn. And then when we give a lot of all these stimulations, it's not lot of stimulation. When we give so many things for them to handle, and for their brain to handle, the brain is obviously going to be very happy. So when the brain is happy, obviously they're going to be very happy children. And when we do right brain education, we should connect with the child, and we should be very, very sensitive to the moods of the child, with the child's likings and dislikes. We should be very cautious about that. So we'll be observing the child, and we'll be obviously, the session will be full of love, and we'll only do what the child wants or the child likes. So the child is going to absorb all those abilities into themselves. So they're going to be like, they will understand people better. They'll want to be nice to people. They want to be kind to the people, because that is what they've experienced, throughout the session. So obviously this will happen in parenting as well. But then why I talk about that in right brain education is that right brain parents or right brain education parents, they'll be even more sensitive, because if the child's mind is not happy or relaxed, then right brain education, whatever you do during the session, will not be working, will not enter the brain. So right brain will be closed, they say, if the child is not in a good mood. So the child should be obviously in a very good mood. So we'll be very, very attentive to the to the moods of the child. So, that actually increases the bond between the mother and the child. So yeah, enhance parent-child bonding. So what can you do? Flashcards, math broadcasts, memory exercises, reading lots of books. Obviously, I mean, showing flashcards is fine, English flashcards, but then if you read English books, then the child will have more exposure to words. So that now the child will know, the child will relate to whatever he learned or she learned during the flashcard session. It all happens intuitively. The child is not even trying to do all that. The brain will automatically do all that. So spending the moment they wake up and they go to bed with them and suggesting good thoughts. So as soon as they wake up from nap, or even from the morning, from the night sleep and from the nap, and before they go to bed at night. So those timings are very important for the right brain, because right brain is more open during the time, because subconscious mind is more open during that time, and because scientifically speaking, more, the brain is in an alpha wave state. So that is when, you know that is when right brain is completely open. So you should spend that time with your child, so that the child feels happy and safe. So when once the child feels happy and safe with you, handling the child will become very easy throughout the day. So before the bedtime, bedtime is the most important time of all times, for adults, for children, for everyone, whoever is alive. So it's very, very important. So before bedtime, whatever you're going to do, that's going to set your brain, or that's going to, set the brain for the entire life, I would say. So it's very, very important. So you'll be learning more in detail during this in my classes. So I'm just putting it there here. So creative play, and not by not stopping what the child wants to do. So if you're doing something and the child is doing something, you want to do flashcard, mean you cannot just ask the child to just stop playing and then ask the child to come sit for the session. That's not going to happen at all, because yeah, whatever the child wants to do, the child has to do. And there should be good routine, so that the sessions are easier to do. So there are 4 special functions of the right brain. So one is called as resonance function. Resonance means what? What? Vibration. So everything has vibrations, objects or thoughts or ideas. Right brain resonates with these vibrations, and right brain learning happens through vibrations. Information processed with beta waves are perceived by left brain, and information processed with alpha waves are perceived by the right brain. So what I mean by all this is that there is whatever information we are giving, it's all vibration, and the right brain absorbs all these vibration, and right brain learning happens through vibration. So it is not just the flashcard, it's not just if you show apple, mango, or not just apple, mango are going inside the brain. You will have certain, actually, I will explain more in detail during my classes, but what I would say here is that it is definitely not memorizing the flashcard, not only whatever word or picture is there just gets inside the child's brain. What you you transfer your vibrations as well through the right brain, through the flashcards. So the point is, the child is in a much open state. That means his extrasensory perception abilities are in a very good state during the session. That means telepathy, clairvoyance, all that is happening. So the child is going to absorb all that. And when you're going to do it with a happy mind and a happy heart, the child is going to absorb the happiness as well. In fact, if you do right brain education with more than one child together, like if you do it with 2 3 children together, one child will get something, one child will get something, and the other child will get something, and the other child will get something through the session. And they will develop some ability. For example, the child A develops clairvoyance, the child B develops photographic memory, the child C develops, he gets telepathy. So what happens is that there is vibrational transfer. So they'll transfer they'll transfer the abilities with each other. So all this is like, it is it it doesn't sound very scientific. But then personally, I've seen this happening, in my life as well. So when I first went for a group class, when my child was like 1.5 years or something, so I experienced this personally. So we had a clairvoyance exercise which they were doing. So all kids, like small kids, like under 4 years of age, and they're supposed to tell what picture they're seeing under the cover. So a picture was kept and it was covered. So they have to see through the picture and they should tell what it is. And it's a very opaque cover, like paper, opaque paper. Paper is kind nothing, you can't see through it. It's very thick paper. You can't see through it. But then, I was able to see through the card. I saw it was a house, I was able to see it. And I was like, I didn't understand what was happening. And I tried to move my head and this way, that way. Whichever way I moved, I was able to see clearly a house. I didn't understand what was happening at that point. This happened like 7 years back when my child was 1 year, one and a half. So at that time, I didn't totally understand what was happening. And then when they showed the card, when they took out the card out, when they took the card out, it was exactly that same house. I didn't know what was happening at that point. And eventually, when I started reading more about right brain education, that is when I understood there was vibrational transfer of clairvoyance, that which happened at that point. That means some child had that, and probably I got that during the session. And that was during the first or second session, group session. So that is why, if you have a group class happening in your city, definitely attend, and it's going to be amazing for your child. Of if even if you don't see anything, you won't be able to see much in a very dramatic way with your child. But then what is happening inside, you will never know. You will never know. So visualization is also a right brain ability in right brain mass memory. So this is one of the functions. The children are able to absorb huge amounts of information through their right brain, shown at a fast rate, and are able to display or manifest that information intuitively in seconds. So this is another ability of the right brain. That is why we show fast right brain flashcards at a very, very fast rate, because that is what right brain loves. And if you show more number of cards, that is why it's called right brain mass memory. So if you show more number of cards, it's going to be more beneficial. And if you're going to be showing it in a very fast rate, the faster the cards, it's going to be even more beneficial, because the abilities are going to increase exponentially, increase in at a very fast rate. And that is the reason for photographic memory. So even if the child looks at it only for a few seconds, the child will be able to retrieve the information intuitively. The child is not thinking, oh, this is there, this is there, this was here, this was there. It is not logical thinking. The child just knows what was there, when the child saw something. So that is photographic memory. And then automatic processing. So they'll be very spontaneous. Their brain will function very, very fast. So, it's a great benefit to have that ability. And so right brain is spontaneous. It functions beyond the person's intentions. It can control or process complex information at very high speed. So automatic processing. So, some people are very quick-witted, just like that, they'll tell a comment and you'll feel like, they're so witty or so brainy, That is how fast the right brain works. And so yeah, you have reading program. Bits means the picture cards, and then books are the major part of the program. So flashcards should be supplemented with books. Without books, right brain education reading program is not complete. So of course, I've talked about books in my Instagram as a reel about how to choose the books, and I will share in the group if possible. And right brain math program is not just the dots program. There are advanced right brain cards, which I have a right brain math program. I don't sell any material, but then for math alone, I have materials. I have like 6 months worth of advanced right brain materials, which I've prepared myself. So you won't get these anywhere. So the dots program, you know that already, right? I mean, the red dot cards, you see that. I mean, you have that. If you're doing right brain education, you'll be having that and you'll be doing that. But there is, that's much more to right brain education than dots. So do not stop showing dots when you start numerals. So many people stop. This is one of the mistakes which people do. Once they start right brain education, once they finish their dot program, they go for numerals and then they stop dots. Dots, dots means quantity. So quantity is the 1 second. Quantity math is right brain math. Numbers, numerals are left brain math. Obviously, RBE exercises like telepathy, clairvoyance, and all these memory activities, linking memory, grid memory, peg memory, all these are very important. The most important part of right brain education are RBE exercises. So if they are developed, all the other programs will flourish. If you don't do this, then you will not get much benefit. Obviously, there will be benefit. If you do flashcards, the brain is obviously going to be getting better at least 1%, 2%, to be minimum. There won't be 0% at all. There is nothing. I didn't get anything through right brain education. You can never say that. Right brain education, even if you do little, even if you do only for 1 day and in a week and only for 5 minutes, it has got huge benefits. So of all these RBE exercises can be done at any place, anytime. You don't need materials for that. So it's very important. So remember, it is not about memorization. Forget making records, forget doing all these India Book of Records, this and that. It is not about right brain education at all. In fact, if you make the child memorize, if you make small children memorize many things, it's going to stimulate their left brain and the right brain ability. The child, you're actually bringing down the right brain ability by doing lot of memorization at young age. So young children are not supposed to memorize huge quantity, huge number of things at all. So it's actually wrong that people do all these records. It's actually harmful for right brain education, which nobody talks about. Only people who know about right brain education will understand this. Who know the actual right brain education, they know this point. So most important role you do, a rule you need to follow, that you have to be a good person. They say, like, if the child is a very good-hearted person, obviously the mom also should be that. So if there is so much of goodness in the heart, then the right brain is going to flourish. And that is because right brain is emotional brain. So if you're good, the right brain is going to flourish. And I've heard, I've read incidents like, some child in Japan, so I tried to show off his abilities, his right brain abilities, and what happened was he started to lose his abilities, lose his right brain abilities. So that is what will happen if if you're not a good person. And yeah, that is the base of right brain education, because right brain is the emotional brain. So right brain is the emotional brain. Goodness and happiness are the fuel. Child mirrors you. So your child learns emotions and character through telepathy from you. Telepathy is an RB quality. It's an R right brain quality. So telepathy means what you feel inside, the child will also feel. So you are the most important part of right brain education. So you have to be in a good mood, good state, and you need to understand this. You should not push the child. You should be a good parent. Only then right brain education will be successful. So if you have negative thoughts of behavior, the right brain will not function well. And if you are egoistic, wants all the good only for you and your people, lack empathy, RBE will not work, and you will lose the right brain abilities. So whatever you do, if you're not a right person, if you're not a good person, obviously right brain education will not be helpful. You will lose the abilities. And right brain education definitely, you acquire a lot of amazing qualities. And it is important that you use them only for good things. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you all. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Or if you don't have any doubts, yes, Anushka, you can ask your doubt.
Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Hmm.
Yes, I want to ask when my kid was small, like he's 6, like he will be 6 in July.
Mm-hmm.
So when he is younger, like almost 3 4 years, I used to practice this right brain education things like flashcard and music and whatever I know about the right brain education. But after that, I didn't continue. After age of 3, I didn't continue. So will it helpful?
Yeah, I mean, definitely his right brain pathways are already stimulated, so it will definitely help him. And it's not that you didn't do anything, you did before 3 years of age, and that's going to be very, very helpful. So, don't
Okay.
stop at 3 years of age.
And
That
yes,
is what
and
is very important. Mm.
like you were telling, na, ki, you will know is your child is ready after a certain age or not. So how to know like my child is still ready for the right brain education?
No, all children are ready for right brain education. But the what I said was like, it depends on the child.
Yes,
Some children, if now the child is 6 years of age, right? So
yes.
the child should be ready, means the child should sit and watch the flashcards. That's the readiness. So if the
Okay.
child is able to sit and look at the cards, if he likes doing that, that means he's ready. You cannot make a child, compel a child to do a right brain education.
Okay.
There is no compulsion here. That is the readiness. I mean, otherwise, all children are ready. Like I said, you can do right brain education at any age. Like even it was beneficial for me, when I was
Yes, yes.
the
Yes,
28,
you were
I
telling me that.
started.
Yes.
Yeah, at 28 years, it was beneficial for me. So that
Yeah.
means, 6 years
And
is
one more
nothing.
thing, like you were saying, like right brain education is for lifetime, no? So
Yeah.
should be practice for life, like after
No,
10 or
no,
12
no.
years also.
Whenever you stop, whenever you
Yes.
you can stop, I mean, you can stop at any age. I would say, as for as long as the child is with you, you can do right brain education. There are different things which you can do at different ages.
Okay.
So the program what I teach is only up to 8 years of age. So after 8 years of age also you can do many things. So at home, I mean
So,
at home.
like, will you suggest what to do after age of 8?
Yeah, after 8 years of age, it's the same thing, but then a little bit different. So that is not the point of this program, right? This is just introduction to right brain education. That should
Okay.
be a course again. I mean, in itself, it's
Okay.
a course. So that
Okay.
I'll be doing when I do all those things. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to, I mean, I know the theory part. What I am teaching in right brain education is what I've done for my child and what has worked and
Okay.
what I've seen working in all other children as well, not only my child.
Okay.
So I need to have the first hand experience, only then I can teach, right? So my child is now
Okay.
only she's 8. So after 8, I have to try all those things and only then I'll come up with, I can definitely say, this works. I mean, this
Okay.
method works.
Okay.
I
Now,
mean,
one
for those
personal,
techniques. Mm,
yes,
yes.
one personal question also. Like you were telling about the intuition, like right brain have the intuition power and all. So, there is some programs in the market, not like intuition
Mm,
activating programs or mid-brain activation kind of programs.
yeah.
So are those programs are the same as the right brain education
They use,
program?
yeah, it's similar. The benefits are similar. They use a different type of stimulation. Yeah, that is also beneficial. Again, the child should be ready for that as well. It also depends on the child, even for that program. So,
No, like
Right.
I don't have any personal experience with the midbrain activation or the
Uh,
intuition program. I just seen on the internet only.
yeah,
So
yeah, the
are they
methods are
really
different.
true, or are they really
It's correct.
like,
It's true
is this
only.
hap
It's true only. I have friends who do that program. So it is true. It is true and it works. Yes, but the benefits are different. They you get they do quantum speed reading, similar thing, same thing only. All these telepathy, clairvoyance, all these develop. But then right brain education is it has got much more benefits. So that is mainly for older kids who have crossed the 8 years mark, after 8 years, what you
Yeah.
can do means you can do midbrain activation and still get a lot of benefits. Right brain education has got even more benefits. So if you do right brain education along with midbrain activation, it is very good. Again, it depends on the
Okay.
readiness of the child. The child should be willing to do all that. It depends on the trainer, like how, it depends on the child now, how it depends on the mom, when we're doing right brain education, it depends on the trainer
Mhm.
and the communication
Hmm.
between the child and the trainer. There are lots actually. And it works. I have a friend who does that, and I've seen children who've done that, and yeah, it works. You can do that as well.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Anushka. Yes, Brinda wants to ask something.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Brinda.
Uh, Hi. I just wanted to ask you regarding your one of the courses. So I've been following you since almost like 2020. I have an elder child, and I have been following you since 2020. And I have taken few. I don't. I think this question is not relevant to the current thing. But can I ask you the question, or I will wait till the session ends so that I can talk to you?
Is it about ribbon education?
Yeah. Yes.
And then you can ask.
It's about your course, ma'am. It's about your course. So can I do it
Yeah,
after
yeah,
the
you can.
session?
No, you can ask. It's okay.
Oh, okay. So I have taken your course regarding maths, and I have taken your course regarding ESP course that you have offered. Like it's
Mm.
around some 2023
Yeah,
that I have taken these courses. And then you have also given WhatsApp assistance for all. You told that we will have monthly sessions,
ah,
group meetings, all that would be like throughout. But then I think after 2024 or 25, you have stopped the
yeah,
WhatsApp and started in Telegram.
yeah.
From then on, I couldn't actually access your any of your like the meetup sessions and
Oh no,
follow-up
I'm not.
sessions.
I'm not conducting anything because not many people. Nobody's asking for it, actually. So I think the children allow. I mean, have all grown. I think because
Okay.
mostly I had parents. I think before 2024. I think so that group was for the old members only. So very few people joined after that, and nobody asked me any question. Nobody had
Okay.
doubts, and if at all
So
they
I
have, they'll ask. Yeah,
contacted you. I contacted you through Instagram, and you
yeah.
said going to Telegram and so not what. But
I,
then I couldn't find the
you're
Telegram
there in the
this thing, and then
Telegram group, right? You're there in the Telegram group, right?
no, I am not in the Telegram group. Actually, I couldn't
Oh.
actually find the Telegram group link.
No, I mean,
I have changed.
you
I
cannot
couldn't
find
find.
the group because it's a link actually. I gave the link in the WhatsApp group. So if you not joined
Yeah,
the group, you message me on Instagram. I'll send you the link.
yeah, okay, ma'am. Because I changed my phone, and after that, I couldn't find the link for the Telegram. I
Mm.
messaged you on Instagram, but then you said it is there, and I couldn't find
Oh,
actually,
okay,
and
okay.
I just
Oh,
messaged
I
you
don't know. You
again.
could have told me. Yeah, yeah. It's there. I mean, you messaged me.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
But actually, the both the sections have helped greatly. Like ESP, I have been
Mm.
doing with my child, but I was not very consistent. After my second one was born, I was not very consistent with her.
Mm.
But I could see, there was a great difference when I was doing right brain. Like
Mm.
when I was doing brain sessions and all with my elder one, there was a great difference. Like, I had to stop after 3 years, and I have recently started. Like I in between also I was doing for the younger one when she was still 1.5 or 1 year, 1 year old. I was full fleshly doing it for both the kids. But then I stopped, and then it's like going like
That's
on and
okay.
off, on and
That's
off.
okay. On and off is better than not doing, Yeah, it's okay. It happens with everyone, life happens to everyone at some point, and you have to stop ribbon education. Yes. Please don't feel bad and, continue from where you left off.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I will just message you on
Yeah,
Instagram.
sure, Brenda. Thank you. Kajal has something.
Ma'am, like I want to know how exactly are we supposed to introduce them? Like, what is the first step? How to,
First, what is the age of the child?
18 months, 1.5 year old.
18 months. So it all starts simultaneously. What I would say is, I mean, it's not for the child. The child can do RBE exercises, right brain reading, right brain math, and the picture program. Everything the child can do. If you start this minute, the child can see, the child can do, 18 months, definitely they can do. But the point is, we need to understand, right? We need to understand the method. For that, I would say I mean, there are 4 programs which I offer. Like, I'm running this offer, right? So you get all the 4 programs for one program cost. So that's like
Okay.
2,500. You get all the programs, and the actual price is 10,000 for all programs. So this is the first time I'm giving an offer. So what I would say that is that you will get all the 4 programs. So you start one program. If it is RB exercises, you go through the videos. It will be like 2.5 hours or 3 hours video, and then you understand what it is, and then you get the material. You get the materials. You make the materials, and then slowly you do. So 1 month you do. I mean, 1 month or 2 weeks for RB exercises. 2 weeks or 1 month. Next month you go for reading. Next month you start math. Next month you start picture cards, or whichever you want to start first, whichever is
Okay.
available first. So
So, ma'am,
it
where we
is
will get
not
this
for the,
program?
yeah, you can message me. I will give you the details. So it is not for the child. It is our readiness. We need to understand things first, right? So for that, you take time and then you do. And
Yes,
if you're
yes, ma'am,
able to
I can.
understand it much faster, much quicker, then you can do it all simultaneously, however faster you learn and however faster you're able to collect the materials.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Then I'll text you in
sure.
WhatsApp.
Yes, Kajal. Yeah, you can.
Thank you.
Any more questions, anyone?
Hi, Aishwarya. My
Hi,
name is
Mansa.
Mansa.
Yes, hi.
I don't have any questions. I have a request. I wasn't able to attend with my husband. He's at work,
Yeah, I saw
will
your
I be?
message. Yeah, I'll be putting this recording in YouTube as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Aishwarya. Thank you.
Thank you. So, if there are no more questions, so thank you all for joining, and let me know if you have any more queries. Bye. I'm ending the session now. Thank you for attending.
Bye, Aishwarya. Thank you.
Thank you, Mansa. Bye.